Well, they're waiting in the wings, as you can see Chris Schaff leading them out here. Schaff is 28 years old and world number 3. So just at one world ranking place behind Mike Schloesser. This should be a very interesting match indeed. Time for semi-final number 2 of the compound men's individual. Shooting on target number 1. It's the Netherlands, Mike Schloesser. He's 27 years old, and as Nicky Hunt said, he shot a 7.17 in the ranking round here to be ranked number 1. So Mr. Perfect, pretty close to perfect, but Chris Schaff shot a 7.09, a pretty good score himself to be ranked 5th in the ranking round. Come through some tough matches as well, notably Schaff beating Hansen in the quarterfinals, and Mike Schloesser taking out Jamie Lutz of the USA in the 3rd round. Going up against your friend Nicky, is that tough, or do they just put that all to one side?
You've just got to put it all to one side, I think. Yeah, it's a difficult one. Sometimes it's better just shooting against someone you don't know. There's no emotion at all there sometimes then. But ultimately, when these guys step on the line, it's just them versus that target.
Well, fully focused, they might well be mates, but you would never know at this stage. Absolute professional, on their game. This for a place in the compound men's final against Braden Galantine, and it is Mr. Perfect to shoot first.
Nearly on the X, if we go.
Long hold.
That's not where he wanted to start. Very difficult to know what's going to happen. Shooting an 8 first against Mike Schloesser.
There it is.
Well, that's the best recovery you could hope for. What a start. What a start from Mike Schloesser. Perfect 30. Chris Schaff's got to get a 10 here to stay in this. Shot it. So a 28. Nicky, discuss. An 8 against Mike Schloesser first arrow.
I mean, it was the opening arrow. Was it again just a bit of a sight mark issue? Like, these 2 10s were right on the edge of the 10 as well. So it could be an option of that, but yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare, isn't it?
He needs Schloesser to drop points. And he needs to see Schloesser drop points soon, because as the pressure builds, if Schloesser just keeps hitting the 10s, the momentum is going to get away from Chris Schaff. It definitely isn't the start that he would have wanted, but conversely, look at this start. It's just, I think he can already see the arrow hitting the spider there. It's incredible. First arrow from Schaff. Well, he can't hide that, can he? He can't hide the fact that was an 8. He just, yeah, very, very tricky start for the American. He may well be world number 3. In fact, that probably makes it worse because he knows how difficult it is to take on Mike Schloesser. Not done yet. Still in the fight. But Chris Schaff from the USA has put an 8 down as his sight up and given Mike Schloesser a leg up when you really don't want to do that with Mr. Perfect. Time for end number 2.
That's what we needed right there. Keep them in the 10. So solid. Just looks relaxed at full draw.
Ja, X. Laag op de rand, X. Goed.
He's just putting his arrow back on the rest. Another wide one.
Maar ook. Just fired there.
Line there, but it's going to get the perfect 30 again, and 29 from Kris Schaff. Well, that lead just widens. Unfortunately, even though Kris Schaff has shot the 29, just dropped a single point. So you had a nervous giggle there, Nicky, on that 10. Explain to everyone why.
You could just see his face as it went off, that you could just tell it wasn't quite right, and then the relief when it hit the line, you know, and come on, this is Mr. Perfect, we want to drop any points here, and yeah, he can see, I think he can see the fun in that too, his expression as he came off the line.
Yeah, very good, yeah. But that's how good he is, that he's doing that, pulling that face, and he still shot a 10. Oh, that was close to not being a 10. Like, anything less than a 10 is just not good enough for Mike Schloesser. Kris Schaff, well, he's improved by a point in terms of his overall score, his own score, 28 in the first, 29 in the second, but 2 perfects from Mr. Perfect puts him at 3 points ahead. Kris Schaff will start things for end number 3 and already staring down the barrel of the gun.
Yep.
Look better. Still adjusting his sight.
Ja, net jongen. Net onder de rand, X.
It's more like it.
Yep. X. Good shot. Ja, links hoog, net geen X.
I just love watching this guy shoot. He looks like he's kind of just laid back on a lounger somehow at full draw, and they just break.
It is phenomenal, and that is phenomenal from Kris Schaff. 30, a perfect for him, 87. The only problem he's got is Mike Schloesser. He's just shot his third 30 in a row, and is on a maximum of 90 here. I honestly don't know what to say, because I would love it that we could easily say, you know, Schloesser's capable of dropping points. Of course he's capable of dropping points, but it's so unlikely that just that 8 of the first arrow, huge problem for him.
You don't earn the nickname Mr. Perfect for nothing, do you? Yeah, it's tough, you know, but I think you've just got to kind of, again, learn from the experience, suck it up, go out here, shoot the best arrows you can. We're in the semi-final. You know, if things continue as they are, Kris will go through to the bronze, and you know, what can he learn now that's going to help him in the next match?
Yeah, and I'm just so reluctant to just write him off like that, because it kind of spoils it for everyone. That look, it's the bottom line is this is now a very tricky task already for Kris Schaff. It was after the very first arrows. After 9 arrows, and that situation has even got worse by a single point. It doesn't matter if Kris Schaff is perfect now. It's very unlikely that Mike Schloesser is going to drop 3 points in the next 2 ends. Stranger things have happened, but it's time for end number 4. Kris Schaff has just got to shoot his arrows in the 10s.
Yep.
There's one.
Another one. Ja, goed jongen, links de X.
It's getting closer to the X, I think.
Yep.
Great stuff from Schaff.
Ja, links 10, binnenkant rand. Good, strong shot.
It's almost mesmerising, isn't it?
11 links
It really is that he looks that calm. It's not that Schaff looks tense.
There it is.
Another perfect 30 from Kris Schaff. Brilliant performance. But when you watch him now, it's like, I wonder what I'm going to have for dinner tonight. So calm. Ah, now has dropped a point. He shouldn't have been thinking about his dinner.
That's where he went wrong.
That's the problem. But it does look so. Joking aside, it does look very relaxed, and it's got to be a key message and learning point for all archers or young archers that want to be that good.
Yeah, definitely. I think finding positions that are repeatable, are relaxed, normal, natural positions, and they are different for different people. There's not just one style. Particularly in compound, you look at the different shapes of people. More triangulated in compound. There's not the same alignment of the arms, so it's finding that position that is comfortable, it's repeatable, and you can sit there and relax on it.
Yeah, he's a phenomenal athlete to watch. Mike Schloesser, so relaxed, so calm. Absolutely really liked and respected on the circuit as well by everybody. Loves his archery, as does Kris Schaff. Kris Schaff has closed the gap by 1, but we've only got 1 more end to go. 3 arrows per archer. Needs Mike Schloesser to drop a couple more 9s to give himself a chance. Kris Schaff trailing by 2. And number 5 of the compound men's semi-finals. This for a place in the final against Braden Galantine.
There it is. Well,
He's on it now, but it's just too little, too late.
Well, there's another opportunity. So now the gap is 1 point. Time for Kris Schaff to put some pressure on here with another 10.
Yep.
He does.
One more.
Let it go is all I was thinking. He did. He shakes his head. It's a 10. Recovery from Schloesser. It's another 9. Now, a 10 from Schaff, and all of a sudden the momentum has changed here. Schaff for a 10.
Yep.
Gets it in the 10. Now, Schloesser, having shot 3 9s in a row, 2 in this end, needs a 10 to stay level.
Yep.
Gets the 10. 3 in a row from him. Phenomenal final 4 arrows from Mike Schloesser. What on earth happened? He had this in the bag. But as you said, Nikki, Schaff just had to stick with it. 3 perfect 30s in a row to draw things level. And we've got another shoot-off.
Can't believe that. Was that commentator's curse? Honestly, I just couldn't imagine Mr. Perfect not shooting 10s.
Just unbelievable. In the 4th end, shooting a 9 to just open the door. But I don't think anyone thought he would then follow that up with 2 more 9s in the 5th end. But Schaff has stuck to his game, having shot an 8 in his very first arrow, and it all looking very, very difficult from there. Then shooting a 9 in the 2nd end, as Mr. Perfect shot, 12, 14 10s in a row before then shooting 3 9s in a row. Scores have been confirmed. A 147 plays 147 after 5 ends, and we go to the 1 arrow shoot-off. What an incredible semi-final!
His face, though, he couldn't believe it, could he? He couldn't even contemplate that was possible. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. And again, now the balance, it's been dominated by Mikey all the way through, and now he just kind of lost his confidence in the last set there. So it's just going to be nail biting what is going to happen next.
Yeah, I think Kris Schaff thought he'd have a chance of being in this position. I remember so much at stake here. Win this one, win the next match, booked your place straight away at the Hyundai Archery World Cup Finals at the end of the season. And to have that in the bag so early in the season is so important, especially with the way the world is right now. Clearing the target face, or target faces I should say, clean targets for the shoot-off. One arrow closest to the centre for a shot at gold against Braden Galantine, and it's Mike Schloesser of the Netherlands, the world number 2, who will be shooting first up to the line. One arrow to make the final here in Guatemala City. Up to 10. That's all we can say about it. Other than there is a big gap from where that arrow is to the spider. Can Kris Schaff get inside it? Oh, he's dropped it into the 9, having fought his way back into the match, having been given a chance with a wide 10, plenty of room for Kris Schaff to get closer to the spider. Kris Schaff having shot, what, 12 10s in a row, goes into the shoot-off and comes away with a 9. A phenomenal match here between these two. Absolutely incredible, but it is Mr. Perfect. Wasn't quite so perfect in this semi-final, but it's Mike Schloesser who will go on to compete for gold against Braden Galantine.